Okay, Tamim, we are on our last subject for today. I'm going to set this here and you can hear, and I'll show you the pictures too. We're going to read a book, and then we're studying a little bit about, we're listening, and then we're reading books right now that also have movies to them. So we can read the book and then you can watch the movie. And a lot of these books that I'm reading to the kids here are old books that have been around for a long time, and they're very famous. So, you know, there might be jokes that people tell, and it's an idea from the joke is coming from a book. And if you've never read the book, you don't know what they're talking about. So we're reading a lot of older books. We have read Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Lady and the Tramp. So you can ask Gemal, help me. I want to watch the movie Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It's a cartoon. And then I want to watch Lady and the Tramp. So even though you haven't read the books, you can watch the movies and understand some. So today we're going to read a book called Pinocchio. And Pinocchio is another old book that has a lesson that we need to learn that we'll talk about at the end. And so we're going to read it, and then over the weekend, you're going to watch the movie Pinocchio. And Tamim, another thing that you're going to watch over the weekend is there's a movie, ask Gemal, there's a movie about Joseph in Egypt, ancient Egypt. And so that's another movie you can watch over this weekend to learn more about what it was like in ancient Egypt, okay? So this is Pinocchio, all right? So this is the first picture. Let everyone see. All right. There was once a very kind old man named Geppetto. Interesting name, huh? Geppetto, I think. He lived in a little house with his goldfish, Chloe. So his goldfish was named Chloe, and his cat named Figaro. Another friend named Jiminy Cricket lived in the house too. All right, so it was the old man, his goldfish, his cat, and sometimes this little cricket named Jimmy the Cricket was there too. Cricket is like a bug.
Oh.
It's a certain bug that jumps.
Okay.
All right. Geppetto could make wonderful things out of wood. One day he made a puppet. Do you know what a puppet is? It's like it's made out of wood, and it has strings coming up, and you can do this and make, like, maybe it's a person and a string's here, a string here, and you have a bar, and so you can do this and it makes it move. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Okay. You'll see it in the movie. Okay? But he could make wonderful things out of wood, and one day he made a puppet that looked just like a little boy.
I see this movie before. Yeah, I see.
His name, he called the puppet Pinocchio. How I wish Pinocchio was a real boy, he said. It would be so much fun to have a son. And so he made Pinocchio right there. And he just would sit there and look at Pinocchio and just wish that he was real and he had a real son. A good fairy heard Geppetto's wish. That night she came to his house when everyone was sleeping, and she touched Pinocchio with her wand. What is a wand? Like a stick? Starting magic. She touched Pinocchio with her wand, and suddenly the little wooden puppet came to life.
Wow.
And what did Pinocchio do first? He tried to take Chloe, the goldfish, out of her bowl. See? reached his hand in the bowl and tried to get the fish out of the bowl. Mischievous. He doesn't know. He's like Benjamin. No, 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 Pinocchio, cried Jiminy the Cricket. Put that fish right back. So Jiminy the Cricket was like, oh, no, 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 no. Put it back. The noise woke up Geppetto. He couldn't believe his eyes. What? There was his wooden puppet, singing and dancing. The old man was so happy he gave Pinocchio a big hug. My son, he said, my own little wooden boy. Pinocchio was dancing. He's so shocked. He gives him big, big hugs. Geppetto wanted to cook breakfast for Pinocchio, but there was nothing to eat. He was very poor. Let me go out and buy some food, Father, said Pinocchio. Geppetto, my, he said, what a very good boy you are. The old man gave Pinocchio some money and a list of things to go buy. So see, Pinocchio, right, he looked, they had no food. So Pinocchio took a little money in his purse, his wallet, and a list of things he needed to go buy. Jiminy the Cricket was not so sure that Pinocchio was a good boy. Jiminy the Cricket was like, Pinocchio, good boy? Maybe not. I will follow him just to watch and see, he said to himself. So Jiminy the Cricket was following him and watching everything he would. Jiminy the Cricket was like this, I'm gonna watch him. Pinocchio walked so happy down the street. He smiled at everyone. So he was so happy. And everyone smiled back at him. It was fun to be out in the big world all by himself. A boy named Lampwick was also out all by himself. Lampwick was not a good boy. He told stories that were not true. What does that mean? He told lies. Yeah. He even stole things. Do you know what that means?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not.
Yeah, taking things that are not his, stole things. When Lampwick saw Pinocchio, he said, I bet I can trick that wooden head. He knew that Pinocchio had a wooden head, and he said, I can trick him. So see, Pinocchio's walking, and he's so happy. Everyone's smiling. Jiminy the Cricket's following, and there's Lampwick looking at Pinocchio thinking, I can trick him. He's not a good boy.
His little kid? That
Lampwick is just some boy.
Oh.
Hi, friend, said Lampwick. What do you have there? Money, said Pinocchio. I am going to buy food. Why not buy candy, said Lampwick. It tastes better. No, Pinocchio said Pinocchio. Oh, no, I'm sorry, it says, no, Pinocchio, don't listen to him, said Jiminy the Cricket. Pinocchio paid no attention to Jiminy the Cricket. He followed Lampwick into the store. Where did you get so much money? The lady in the candy store said. My father gave it to me, said Pinocchio. To buy candy? The lady said. Yes, to buy candy.
He lied.
He lied. This was not true. And suddenly, Pinocchio's nose started to grow. He took the candy out of the store as fast as he could. So there he is. He's like, Lampwick said, candy tastes better. Here, go over here and buy candy. And the lady's like, why do you have so much money to buy candy? And then he told a lie and his nose started to grow. Here, let me hold that bag, said Lampwick. It will be safer with me. I'm stronger. Do you think he's telling the truth?
No, he was stealing.
Pinocchio held out the bag of candy. To his surprise, Lampwick grabbed it and he ran away. And that was the end of the candy. Pinocchio was like, what? Oh no. What happened? Asked Jiminy. Where is all your father's money? I lost it, said Pinocchio. Did he lose it?
No.
What did he do?
He bought candy.
He bought candy with it. And then guess what happened? Right away when he told a lie, when he told Jimmy the Cricket the lie, look what happened.
His nose get larger.
His nose get bigger. You did not lose the money, said Jiminy. You used it for candy. Well, at least take what you have left and buy a little food for Geppetto. He walked towards home. Pinocchio held the bag of food in front of his face. He did not want to see anyone. He didn't want anyone to see his long nose. So he took the food bag and held it in front of his face. He was embarrassed. A sly fox and a thin, hungry cat were hiding by the bridge. Look at that wooden head, said the hungry cat. He has a sack of food. Poor Pinocchio. So he's walking home. There's a bridge right here. There's a hungry cat. They're going to try to trick him again. Hello, my fine lad, said the fox. You look like just the sort of boy who might want to see a puppet show. A puppet show, said Pinocchio. Oh, yes, I would love to see a puppet show. How can I get in? See, he has his bag of food. He'd been hiding his nose, but they're going to try to trick him again. I have a ticket, said the fox. If you give us the food, I will give you the ticket. That is your sack of food, isn't it? Oh, yes, said Pinocchio. Was it his sack of food?
No.
Whose was it?
His dad.
Yeah, because his dad gave him the money. Another lie. And his nose grew even more, but he didn't care because he had a ticket. Look at that long nose, but he had a ticket. And he was so excited to see the puppet show. A line of people were waiting to get into the puppet show, and they got mad at Pinocchio when he bumped them with his long nose.
Where's Papa Nut? Show me.
Huh?
Papa Nut mean that he what is it?
Pinocchio?
Yeah.
Pinocchio, that's his name.
Yeah. What is it? Give the ticket? Why?
Like, you know how if you go to a movie,
Yeah.
you buy ticket and you give them ticket.
Oh.
So he had a ticket and he was in line to go to the puppet show, but his nose was so long, every time he moved, his nose was hitting people. And people were getting mad. You better not tell any more lies, says Jiminy the Cricket. You already have too much nose for a puppet your size. So Jiminy the Cricket says, your nose? Too big already. No more lies. Step up, come, said the man, waiting for the tickets in line. Pinocchio stepped up and gave the man his ticket. This is no ticket, said the man. It's just a piece of paper. Go away, little boy, and take your long nose with you. So they tricked him and said, this is ticket. But really, it wasn't a ticket. See, he handed it to him and said, ticket. He said, that's not a ticket. Just go on. You and your long nose.
He's so sad.
Poor Pinocchio. All of his money gone. No more money. No more food. No ticket. He sat down on a box and just started to cry. Just then a man peeked out of the tent. The man, his name was Stromboli. He was the puppet master. See? Does he look nice? Does he look like you can trust him? No. My, said Stromboli, a puppet without any strings. Can you do anything but cry, little puppet? I can dance and sing, said Pinocchio. Show me. Pinocchio danced and he sang and he did cartwheels and he even stood on his head. He was doing all of this stuff. See, Stromboli had puppets with strings that he could move and do things, but this was a wooden puppet with no strings. So, see, this is a puppet. See the stick? And there's strings, and he could make them dance with strings. But Pinocchio didn't have strings. He could dance all by himself. Then Stromboli showed his puppets to Pinocchio. He pulled their strings, and the puppets kicked their feet. You don't need any strings, said Stromboli. Come with us. You will be the star of the show. Do you know the star of the show? It's like if you have a movie, the most important person in the movie is the star. So he said, you'll be the star of the show. Don't listen, Pinocchio. Go home to Geppetto, said Jimmy. But Pinocchio did not want to go home. He wanted to be the star of the show. The show started, and Pinocchio began to sing and dance. Look, no strings, he called. Everybody said, yay, and they were cheering. But the other puppets had strings, and Pinocchio's long nose kept getting caught on their strings, and everything crashed to the floor, and everyone started laughing. Do you think Pinocchio still felt good? Everyone was laughing at him. Suddenly, Pinocchio was very unhappy. He did not like to have people laugh at him. I am not such a good star. After all, he said, I want to go home to Geppetto. He's crying. There's Jiminy the Cricket. Oh, no, you will not go home, said Stromboli. You belong to me now. This bird cage will be your home, my little long-nosed friend. Poor Pinocchio. Help, said Pinocchio from inside the cage. Let me out. But the puppets could not help because they were not real. They could not move unless someone pulled their strings. Jimmy could not help either because he was too small, but he could go get help. Jimmy ran as fast as he could to Geppetto's house. Geppetto, he said, you must come save Pinocchio. Stromboli, the puppet master, has put him in a cage. My poor little Pinocchio in a cage, said Geppetto. The old man followed Jimmy down the dark streets. He was carrying a lantern, a light, because it was dark. See? They're going to find little Pinocchio. They found Pinocchio in his cage in Stromboli's tent. Don't worry, my son, said Geppetto. I will help you. He opened the cage and lifted Pinocchio out. Uh-oh. Here comes Stromboli. Don't worry. Stromboli all of a sudden came running. Thief! That is my puppet. Run, Pinocchio, shouted Geppetto. Pinocchio ran. Geppetto ran too, but the old man did not see the open trunk and he fell down. Ah, now I have you, shouted Stromboli in a terrible voice. I will save you, father, said Pinocchio, and he quickly went up the ladder to the place where the puppets were hanging. See, they were running away together, and then Geppetto fell down, but Pinocchio was brave. He said, I'll save you, and he went up and climbed up where all of the puppets were hanging. He let all of the puppets go. He dropped them, and strings and all, onto Stromboli, and the puppet master could not move. Geppetto was safe. My good, brave Pinocchio, said Geppetto, and he gave his son a big hug. And as fast as they could, Geppetto, Pinocchio, and Jiminy Cricket ran off to home. As soon as they were safe at home, Geppetto took a good look at Pinocchio. What has happened to your nose? He said. Tell him the truth now, said Jiminy Cricket. This time, Pinocchio did tell the truth. He told Geppetto about everything, just as it happened. While he talked, his nose got shorter and shorter and shorter. And finally, it was just the way Geppetto had made it. Never again, Pinocchio decided, would he tell another lie. The end.
Oh,
Very good. So that is the story of Pinocchio. So this weekend, you guys can watch the story
I
Pinocchio.
watched the movie before.
All right, so that's all. And let me write the last thing on the board. And then I'm going to send you a picture to me, to you and Gamal. Pinocchio. Very good. So there's your homework. I will send you a picture now. But there it is. Love you, Tamim.